Do not like use this to scoop it out. So before we begin with this video, I just want to say I'll be keeping my social medias private due to safety reasons. But anyways, let's just get into this video. What is up, my fluffy buns? So today I'm gonna be talking about how to bake correctly. So basically your baking tips that I'm gonna show you. I'm not an expert of it. Okay, maybe a little bit, but I'm not so sure. But I'm just trying to help you guys improve your baking skills. I see a lot of people make these kind of mistakes. So the reason why I wanted to make this video is because I just want to give tips to people out there, beginner for baking or something, but I don't know. But I see a lot of people okay, maybe not a lot of people, but some people, for example, this is a dry measuring cup. You use it for drying ingredients. And this is a wet measuring cup. But I see a lot of people use put flour in here, but this is not what it's meant to be used. But you don't put liquids in here either. This is for dry. So the difference is this is used for dry, and this is used for wet. So you don't mix, you don't use this for wet and you don't use this for dry, if that makes sense. One thing I forgot to add in this video is that you always want to sift your dry ingredients, but except for sugar. I see through most professionals, they don't sift the sugar because sugar is considered as a wet ingredient, which I have no idea why. I just looked up on the internet, it says it's a wet ingredient. But anyways, the reason why you want to sift your dry ingredients is to get rid of the clumps, and you want to make your cakes or maybe cookies or something fluffy, I don't know, but mostly just to get rid of the clumps of it. And another tip is don't want to use a whisk all the time, but you can use it for some part of the time. There's some point you have to fold things, you use a rubber spatula to fold it. If you know what I'm saying, you just use this. You don't stir like this, but you just you fold it, flip it. One thing I forgot to add in this video is that if you want to use food coloring for your cake icing, I would recommend using food coloring gel because it gives a better color than food liquid gel, for my personal opinion. But you can use whatever you want to, but I would recommend food coloring gel. And if you're making cookies, I would suggest you use parchment paper because, well, I don't know, if you want that extra grease you can, but professionally, I would recommend using parchment paper, for making cookies, or if you're making breads. If you're trying to stick something for breads, use butter just to grease it and then put some parchment paper. But I recommend using parchment paper if you're making cookies. But you don't need to grease or anything, you just use parchment paper. That's how I make cookies. Another thing is a professional pastry chef, they sometimes, okay, maybe most of the time they use gram scales, which I have a gram scale too, but it's not electronics. I mean, I got this from Vietnam, and this is this old-fashioned gram scale. And they also have tea and tablespoon gram scale, but I don't have that. So I don't have a teaspoon and tablespoon gram scale, but I would want to get it. I mean, would recommend getting it if you want to replace, the spoons. But I don't know. I feel it's too extra for me, for my opinion. I don't know what you guys think, but I would totally recommend getting the teaspoon and tablespoon gram scale. Some people might use gram scale for, weighing things, even for teaspoon and tablespoon. But I use gram scale and teaspoon and tablespoons. But you don't have to, but if you want to step up your game, you can use a gram scale for everything. It's just replacements for cups and spoons, teaspoon and tablespoons. That's what it is. People use gram scales just to get an accurate for measurement. Someone use milliliters for your wet ingredients or grams. Like I said, I'm not professional. I recommend you using a gram scale for your teaspoon, tablespoon, or you can do either way if you know what I'm saying. And yeah. And another big mistake is do not use regular spoons for your teaspoon or tablespoons. It doesn't give you an accurate measurement. So everything in baking is supposed to be accurate. You got to level it up if you're using cups, but and don't use if you're using this, do not use this to scoop it out. I mean, that's not how I really learn. I mean, I learned this from home ec. If you're gonna use flour, do not use this to scoop out flour. Use a spoon and scoop it up, and use the back of the spoon and you scrape it out just to level it up to give you an accurate measurement. just giving you guys some tips about baking, but you guys can do whatever you want, but I'm just helping you guys to improve your baking. I see like some mistakes that people use, like I said, the dry and the wet ingredients with the different cups and all that stuff. Personally, I don't like, like baking stuff like out of a box or that's been pre-made or already been made, because like it tastes good, but like it doesn't taste like special, like homemade. Like whenever I make homemade stuff, like it just tastes like filled with love. I personally like making from scratch because it's fun to make, and like, you personally made it yourself. Even like if you ever like give cookies to someone you love or to someone, they want to thank you for like, like these taste good, like you made them yourself, and like, yeah, if you know what I'm saying. Number one thing, do not overmix things. You always want room temperature butter, but sometimes in recipes they ask you to melt your butter, but most recipes ask for like room temperature butter, especially eggs, even milk too. Even if you're using heavy cream, even if you use eggs and milk, it has to be room temperature. It will help improve your baking. I just personally like using everything room temperature, like especially in eggs and milk, like it has to be room temperature. It has to be. So through most of my baking, whenever I bake, I usually use a gram scale, but I usually use teaspoon and tablespoons because I don't have like a teaspoon and tablespoon for gram scale, if you know what I'm saying. But comment down below which one you rather use, gram scale or cups or teaspoon and tablespoons. Comment down below, what do you guys prefer? Like already made cookies, or cookies from a box, or cake in a box, or homemade from scratch? Me, I personally like homemade from scratch. So thank you guys for watching. Please give it a like, subscribe, comment down below whatever you want, hit the notification bell to notify this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Probably somewhere else or something, like, if you know what I'm saying. But like the partition diet video, that was like my original content. I don't know, but I kind of started that challenge. Like I only did that to keep